It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag Fluff-a-torium. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag Fluff-a-torium. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag Fluff-a-torium. Show.
Wave your paw, Boo. Boo, can you wave your paw? Hi. Boo doesn't know, but I've accidentally left the treats in the other room. So we
That's
can't give you.
cruel.
I know. I'm so sorry, Booey. I'm so sorry. Have a hug instead. Right, off you go. Good girl. She's like, okay, give me the treat. Oh no, she's looking for the treat. Oh, okay. Well, we'll give you a treat when we finish, Booey, okay? Oh, she's looking at me expectantly. Was that a sheep? Are you playing sheep?
I am.
Oh, hell's bells. I don't.
And why am I playing sheep, Gillian?
I have nothing to do with the sheep. Oh, because it's spring. Oh my God. I am so sorry, everyone. I do apologise for all the random sound effects. Nothing to do with me. Can you still hear sheep? I can hear sheep. Cut the sheep now.
No more. You're done with sheep.
I'm done with the sheep.
Okay. Sheep
Welcome. Hello and welcome, everybody. I hope you are all well. We are well, aren't we, Christopher?
Yes, I think so.
I think
so far, so good.
I think so. We had a bit of a hectic day yesterday because my daughter and her boyfriend moved out after the whole of lockdown.
Shame.
So yes, we're feeling a bit bereft this morning. Like, where are they? I think Booey is as well. She didn't eat her breakfast. I think she's a bit out of sorts. Anyway, welcome. I'm going to be showing you how to make a spring wreath today, and it is indeed very springy. No more sound effects, thanks. It's very springy out there. I don't know where you live in the world. Obviously, you may be watching me from the darkest depths of some wintry scene, but here in the UK, the sun is shining, the daffodils are blooming, and it's feeling very spring-like, despite the fact that it is still February, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The last day, right? Is it the 1st of March tomorrow?
I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah, so we've had an unusually bright and sunny spell early in the year. So anyway, right, so I'm going to show you how to make this marvellous spring wreath, which can also double as a Mother's Day wreath, because again, I know in other countries Mother's Day is at various times of the year, and they don't all coincide, which is really very annoying. But anyway, here in the UK, it's on the 14th of March, so it's in 2 weeks' time. So I was thinking spring wreath, Mother's Day wreath, I love you wreath, thank you wreath, I'm grateful wreath, anything wreath really. And it comes, our kit that we sell. Last week I did the whole broadcast, and then a lady contacted me on messaging saying, do you sell the wool? And I was like, well, yes. And I thought, oh, I hadn't mentioned it. So anyway, this week, yes, we do sell this kit. Okay, so this is on our website. The spring, I think it's called the Spring Wreath Kit. It's under new anyway. And it comes with all the bits you need, apart from the Pom-Pom maker, which we sell separately, and apart from the glue. Okay, and this week I am not really going to be using gem tack.
Oh,
I caught him unawares then.
No, you didn't. You never catch me.
I didn't catch him unawares. I'm actually going to be using a glue gun, which is a bit of high jeopardy here, because I always find that a bit stressful in a live situation, because it's very immediate. The gluing is very immediate. Anyway, we'll worry about that a bit later. So yeah, that's the only thing that doesn't come with the kit, is the pom-pom maker and the glue gun. And I will be using the smallest sized pom-pom maker, this little green one here. They're not always the same colours actually, but anyway, it's the smallest size. And I think it's like 4 or 5 centimetres big, so it's not very big. Of course, you could use some cardboard circles or, you know, other means of making pom-pom. But what I'm going to be showing you is how to make the flower on the pom-pom. Ooh, So I'm going to put this down, hang on. So how to actually make, I've got a big one here, how to make a bigger, no, it's not a bigger, how to make a flower. Sorry, the dog's having a funny 5 minutes rolling around.
As always.
Funny noise. Yeah, if you can hear a funny noise. So I'm going to show you how to do this with the pom-pom maker and where to put the wool. But of course we're using wool tops, which is our unspun felting wool. We're not using yarn as such. So I'll show you what to do with that. Okay. So let's get cracking. So the kit comes with a wreath. But when you get the kit, you'll find that the wreath is circular, not heart-shaped. And of course, you can leave it circular. You don't need to make a heart-shaped wreath. You can make a circular one. If you'd like to turn it into a heart, however, it doubles over here. You know, that's just the way it's made. And it's got the sort of viney bit wrapped around it. I'd keep that to the side. So don't have that at the top if you're turning it into a heart. And then it's bendy, basically. So it's super easy. Just going to make it into a heart right here, right now to show you how easy it is. Yeah, it's that easy. Okay.
You're a genius.
Literally, I know. I'm very talented, you know. So yes, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. But that's literally all there is to that if you want to make it into a heart. Dip in the top, squidge in the bottom. But I would keep that overlappy bit at the side. And then at the end, once you've made this, you get a piece of this rather splendid retro pink spotty ribbon in the kit, and then of course you can use that as your hanger at the top when you've finished. So the first thing that I'm going to quickly show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to make all of the little flowers. Now some of these flowers come ready-made in the form of the little white daisies. It's just a bit of trim. You get 5 of them, you just snip them up, and those are literally just stuck on as they come. But the little daisies and the little daffodils, simple, flat, out of ready-made felt, nothing complicated, nice and simple, nice and easy. The dog is now coughing, if you can hear a weird noise. So I'm going to show you first how to make those. Then I'm going to show you the pom-poms. Then I'm going to show you how to make the giant tassel at the bottom, okay, which has got wool tops and yarn in it. So the kit also does include, I think it's 3 meters of this yellow stone washed yarn, which is rather lovely as well. Oh, and you get a packet of the splendid letter beads, which is very exciting. So you can actually make yourself a little plaque at the bottom and put any message on this. So
any message? Any message.
It could be rude. It could be, you know, that always amuses me to make rude, you know.
Because you're rude, that's
because
why.
I like rude. You know, cheeky rude is what I mean. But this one says hello, or this one says love, or this one says mum. So there's lots of options where you could put yay, or you could put ba, or what else, Christopher?
Badger.
Okay, that's random. Okay, so let's get cracking with this. Okay, so if you can go to the overhead shot for me, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make these little flowers. Okay, so you get the squares of felt in your kit. Okay, so let's start off with the daisies. Okay, now I've shown you how to make these before, but I'm just going to run through it again. There's no need for a template because what I'm going to show you is a really, really simple, easy way of, oh, look at my nails as well. I've just done my nails. Look, they've got little hearts on them. Can you see? I got a little kit. So we've upgraded from last week. They don't look like they've been trapped in the car door anymore. This one's gone a bit wonky, this one, but I just had to go with it because it was stuck. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so out of these pieces here, I've cut these squares. Now you want one square slightly bigger than the other. So you're going to, you know, for making this one, for example, you want one bigger than the other. Start off with a square. Everyone can cut out a square. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's not exactly sort of bob on a square, but as near as you can get. And then you're going to turn your square into a circle, just literally by rounding off. Or the other thing you're going to need, obviously, is a nice sharp pair of scissors. Sharp being the most important word in that sentence. Honestly, I cannot abide blunt scissors. Everyone, just please, just get yourself a nice sharp pair of scissors. Keep them for just using with fabric. And you can't go wrong. And I've got a little pair here as well. It really makes your life so much easier. So starting off with that circle, first of all, I'm literally just cutting the corners off, but I'm kind of rounding it as I go. Am I in the right place here? Can you all see? Yeah. So I'm just going to round them off on this one as well. And then you can choose whether you want your daisy to have 4 petals or whether you want your daisy to have 8 petals. And I'm going to show you a really, really simple way to do that. I know some of you have seen this before. I will do it as quickly as I can. Let's start with this orange one here. Okay, where's my center point? I've hidden it.
Hidden it.
Oh, here it is, look. Here's my center point. Okay, so all I'm going to start off by doing is giving a snip at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Why are you laughing, Christopher? And 9 o'clock.
Doesn't matter.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have I done something amusing?
Well, it's just you're telling the time was never your best feature,
okay.
was it?
And then I'm going to snip. So now I've got 4 pieces. So if I was going to do this little chap just here, then I would just continue with my 4 pieces. But now I'm going to turn that into 8 by snipping directly in the middle of each of the 4. And then you've got 8 segments without any nonsense templates, tracing, nonsense. All right, so this is all you need to do to segment your circle, okay? And then all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to round off the petals. And because I'm right-handed, I tend to go round the wheel this way. And I do the right-hand side ones first because this is how I find it easiest. And I just quickly get rid of all those other bits. I think, you know what? I think the last time I did this, we were doing one of the very first lives that I'd done, and we were actually in the garden, and I think we only had one camera. In fact, we were just doing it straight from my phone actually, and I was having to come up to the phone to show everyone what I was doing. So hopefully this is a bit of an upgrade on that, and you can see a bit better what I'm actually doing. So now I've turned it over, and now I'm just rounding off the other side of the petals. So if you've got ready-made felt, or any fabric for that matter, that you want to cut daisies out of, this is the quickest and easiest way of doing it, and you get a lovely evenly shaped daisy with 8 petals. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all the detritus here that I've now made a massive mess all over the table.
I love that word.
What?
Detritus.
You like that word? Do you? Why do you like it?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's just a good word.
Bit
Sorry.
weird.
Carry on as you were.
And then I'm just going to grab my other little one here. Let's just do this one as a 4. So again, I'm cutting in at 3, 6.
Yes, I am the time police.
9 and 12. I don't know why you're talking about the time. You're the poor timekeeper out of the two of us, because you run on a special Saunders time, which is slightly behind everybody else.
I'm only commenting
now.
on
It's gone quiet now.
your positioning of 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. and
What do you
things
mean?
like
Oh,
that.
what, because I didn't go in the right order?
No.
No.
You did 12 o'clock at the bottom of the clock.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
3
Yes,
o'clock
yeah,
at the
but
top
you're
of the
being
clock.
pedantic. Everyone knows what I mean. Everyone knows what I mean. I'm talking, quarters. I just think it's the easiest way of describing it so everyone can understand. Please
Yes, master.
I'm sure everyone else agrees who's watching.
Yes, master.
Don't you, everybody? Right, look, there's a 4, okay? So one can then go on top of the other to make your double daisy. Your double daisy. That's pleasing to say. A double daisy. And then I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of the yellow and just cut a little circle out of that. Sorry, that wasn't very square, was it? I'm just going to cut a little circle. And all of this, it doesn't have to be bob on, does it? It just can be slightly oval. No one cares. No one will notice. And then there we are. Et voila. There's your first one. Right, now I'm going to show you now how to do the daffodil. Let's just get everything slightly moved into the right position. Okay, so then I'm going to show you how to do the daffodil, which is this one. And here's a little piece that I've already prepared here, because what you need to do here is another thing that you're going to need that I haven't mentioned, sorry, are some Dressmakers pins. Everyone's got some pins, right? Haven't they? If you haven't got some pins, get yourself a marker pen and just mark it into 5 equal pieces-ish. Actually, mine don't look very equal at all, I've just realised. Let's just try that one more time. Yeah, that's looking slightly better. So you kind of want 5 equal segments, and obviously it's difficult to cut that straight off without planning it out first. So once you've done that, make a little cut in Oh no, first of all, we're going to turn it into a circle. Sorry. I'm ahead of myself here. Okay, let's just move you out the way. I'm going to cut the corners off. I was thinking, that's not going to look like a daffodil because it's square.
Hello, Angie from Minneapolis.
Oh, Angie from Minneapolis. Oh, what's the weather doing there? I bet it's Minneapolis. Is it still quite cold in Minneapolis? I remember going there when I used to, in a former life, travel around the world doing stuff. And I'm sure it was snowing. Of course, I don't remember what time of year that was, so...
Minnesota.
Maybe. Minnesota. Is it snowing in Minnesota?
Probably.
I know it was snowing in Texas. That all sounded very dramatic in Texas. And people were in a right old palaver, weren't they? Right, so I'm going to snip in... sorry, I'm faffing about here. I'm going to snip in at these points now that I've made. I think I've already snipped that one, yes. And then this one, and then this one's gone awry. Let's pop him back in. And then this one. All right, let's get rid of these pins because they're actually doing my head in. Here's my pin container where I do like to keep my pins in colour order because I'm a bit of a weirdo.
Yep.
Well, don't they look pretty though in colour?
Very, very pretty.
They do. Anyway, all right, so here's the beginnings of my daffodil. Now, a daffodil petal, slightly more pointed than the daisy. So we're actually going to go in the middle of the shape, the middle of the segment, if you like. I haven't quite cut my segments in far enough. And then I'm going to do the next one. Let's just cut that a bit further in. Right from the middle and round it off. So you're making a slightly more pointy petal. Pointy petal. Like so. I'm just going to do this quickly so as not to bore anybody.
That could be a character in I'm going to start the conversation now. Fluff the musical.
Oh goodness, okay.
Pointy petal.
Oh of course. So basically Christopher wants to us to write Fluff the musical. Now if anyone has got some input, constructive criticism or input into
Well,
whether
just
this
criticism. I'm not, it doesn't have to be constructive. You could just say it how it is if you like.
we haven't got very far down the line with this at all.
I don't think we should talk about the plot quite yet. I think it needs a little bit of finessing.
Yes, okay. So let's not go any further with that other than just to suggest that an idea has been planted. And quite what form this is going to take, I have no idea. Right, so there's my cut daffodil. Sorry, it's a little bit skew with, but you get the general idea of how to do it yourselves, which is why I'm here. And then I'm just going to cut, again, a slightly skew with centre for that, to go in the middle like that. I'm sort of feeling like I should be using the glue gun now and gluing these all together. What are we thinking?
Glue gun?
I feel like I might have glued the glue gun, because when I put my glue gun on, it often leaks a bit of glue. I don't know if that's a common problem. So let's just glue that with a blob. So we do sell these glue guns if you don't have one. And I must say, they are very handy for immediate gluing. If you need to glue things on.
Instant gratification on the glue front.
Yes. I'm just going to move that one out of the way a little bit. And I just want to show you what I mean. So if, let's just pop this. Oh, where's its centre gone? Oh, you see, now I've lost the centre of it. Okay, let's glue this one on instead then. So if I wanted to just glue this on straight away, I want to show you the immediacy. Obviously, it's very hot, so you need to be careful. It's not ideal for children.
You need to centre yourself up a little bit, Gillian, because you're on Instagram, remember?
Sorry. So I'm just going to, let's just put that out of the way a sec. I'm actually just going to quickly snip one of these off and show you how effective the glue gun is as well, just for quickly.
Oh, Kerry Curtis.
Oh, hello, Kerry.
Petal, great character.
Yes.
And gem attack.
Oh, she shoots and she scores. We like that. Okay, so I just want to show you that. I'm not going to show you how to use a glue gun. Everyone knows how to use a glue gun.
I'm going to point the camera at you now, Jill.
I just wanted to explain how quick that was, because whilst we do love the old gem tack, you would have to hold it and leave it to dry quite a while. I'm right. I'm not mentioning gem tack again. Okay. So that's it. I've lost the centre of the daisy. I don't know what I've done with that. So basically, that's now dry and stuck, which is quite good, isn't it? I like a bit of immediacy. I'm not the most patient person. So, you know,
Are
I
you
find it
not?
difficult. No, that's why I have trouble with my nails, because I can't sit still for long enough to let them dry normally. And I'm always doing something and I just can't just sit still. I have to like try and, I'm all right if I'm using my iPad or if I'm watching the telly, but otherwise it's no good cooking, is it, or anything, you know, with your fingers.
I'd rather you didn't cook while
with
you're
wet
doing your
nails.
nails.
Right,
if
let
you
me
don't
focus,
mind.
let me focus. Right,
Focus.
now a lot of you are now interested, I know, very interested in how to make the flower pom-poms. That's what I'm going to show you next. So, what you're going to need for this is a pom-pom maker. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using the smallest one from our pack, which is quite diddy. I did make a bigger one, but I felt like it was too overwhelming and too OTT on the wreath, and I wanted something a little bit more dainty. So I've gone for the little one. But if you've got the pack, you might want to try doing a bigger one first if you want to. If you've got the pack of pom-pom makers, just to like get the gist of how this works, because you have to sort of get your head around where you're putting the wool. Now, when you use the pom-pom maker with yarn to do this, you would wrap the yarn around a certain amount of times. Obviously, we don't have yarn, we've got wool tops. So when you buy this kit, it explains how to pull the wool tops off. And what I talk about is a pencil width, which is about that wide. So as much as you like looking at me, I'm sure, could we now go back to the overhead? Oh, that's got a rude thing on it. Does everyone want to see what my rude pencil says? Christopher, pay attention, please.
I am.
Overhead shot, please.
I'm waiting to see if people want to see something rude.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't show the rude until we know.
Okay, there you go.
Actually, we might get banned from YouTube if we do rude. I'll do it really quickly. There we go. Right, okay. So roughly a pencil's width of wool tops, all right? So I want to show you how to pull that off in that width, okay? So if we get the wool tops, and then we're just sort of parting it like this, okay?
Oh, you're very shadowy on the table
Oh,
today.
dear.
Sorry, that's
No.
my fault.
Oh, it is your fault. How dare you make me shadowy on the table?
You're not shadowy.
Oh, I'm not shadowy.
I shouldn't have said anything because
No.
everybody's looking at
Anyway,
the shadows now.
please,
Sorry.
please let me focus. Right, so what we've got here then is a pencil width, okay? We've got half a pencil width of the yellow because we really don't need very much of the yellow at all, okay? And then we've got two pencil widths, half pencil widths of the green, but the pink is like a full pencil width. So you can see the difference here. And then obviously I've got the Ice Queen to go over the top. All right, so without further ado, let me show you what I did. So when I hold these together, the very first thing I do is I secure the side that I'm not going to be working on, so it doesn't sort of flap around too much, for want of a better word. So I'm just going to wind that around that side just to try and keep it still. That's all. Okay. Then this side is the side that I'm going to start making the flower of the pom-pom. Okay. So I'm going to start with the very center. Let's bring one over. Okay, so we can kind of see what we're doing here. So I'm going to start with the very, very center, and you want your yellow to be wound perfectly in the very, very center of the pom-pom maker, like so, okay? So keep that as central as you can. Actually, I've splayed it out a bit. You want it right dead bang in the middle. The more you splay it out, the more this yellow will travel and you'll get more of an oval, okay? Then you want to do your pink not only over the top of the yellow, but also either side of it as well. So it's all a little bit fiddly because it's so small, but I'm just going to start by winding it round one side of the yellow. Can you see that? Do you want to go to the super close-up, Chris? It's probably quite good for this. So winding it round one side of the yellow, okay? Then I'm going to wind it over the top of the yellow, and then I want to wind it to the other side of the yellow as well. Okay, so that's our pink. Because what we want to happen is we want our pink to go all the way around the yellow, okay? Then we're going to add the little leaves either side. So we're going to keep that together like that, but then we're going to take either one of the greens and we're going to add that in either side. So one side there, like that, okay, and then the other side this way like that. Oh, I need another pair of hands. The other side there like that. So that's going to add green leaves either side of our flower, okay? And then that's our flower done basically. So that's this area done. Let me just bring it down a little bit so you can see. That's that area done. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding the very pale turquoisey colour over the top of the whole thing. So you're going to need to fill the pom-pom maker up, just like you would when you're making normal pom-poms. Just going to completely cover the whole thing in the wool tops. And when you're using the wool tops to make pom-poms, you're always going to have little tapered ends at either end, which I think is quite handy because it sort of helps you. So if I always wrap it right to the very end and I bring this little tapered end and wrap it round, okay, just to sort of hold it, it often holds it in place. Just going to add one more on here on this side. You need to get it as full as you can, obviously, as with all pom-pom makers and all pom-poms. So just keep going until it's completely full and completely tight, okay. I fear my green may have just spread. I'm not quite sure what that's poking out there for. It's quite hard doing this live, actually, I must say. It's, I feel like I'm all fingers and thumbs because it's so diddy. I feel like I want to keep moving it away from where I'm meant to be holding it to try and get it to work. Anyway, let me just show you. So I'm winding it round like this on this side. Then I'm just going to get another piece and I'm going to wind it round. Don't forget to do the sides. Oh, sorry, I've gone way off. Don't forget to do the sides. Actually, you could probably go to the wider shot now, Chris. I just wanted to show everyone that.
I did, but you couldn't really see what you were doing, so I went close again.
Sorry.
I need to see what to do.
We do need to see what to do. And then I'm going to go around this side as well. It's really, it's difficult to do it and hold it really still in the right place, I think is what I'm struggling with. Right, I'm just going to put one more piece on that. One more piece on this side here. Just like around here, like that. Ooh, that's not what we want. We don't want it over that bit there. Come away, come away. So I'm just going to try and eke that. There we go. All right, I'm just going to go with that now, I think. Let's just try and put a little bit
Question.
around there. Yes, go ahead,
Is
caller.
it important to use small pieces, Patricia, on Facebook?
Yes,
asks?
absolutely. So that's why I've got this whole pencil width thing going on, okay? So they're
But
all...
length as well? Oh,
yes, now... sorry. Let's get rid of the pencil. Let's just have the end of the pencil poking in. Come to me a sec, Christopher, darling, please. If you buy the kit, it comes with instructions telling you the lengths of all the bits. But basically, I'll read them out for you now. So I've divided the wool tops into the widths for the pom-pom before I started. So I had a 15 centimetre half width, pencil width of the yellow, a 20 centimetre full width of the pink, and then two half of the olive colour that were 15 centimetres. So that's the bit for the flower on this tiny pom-pom. Obviously you'd need more if you're doing it on a bigger pom-pom maker, okay? And then the rest, I've just got loads of bits of the pale turquoise that I've wound round, okay? So that's basically it. Now I'm going to attempt to clip it together, even though I've put slightly too much on, actually. And now I'm going to break the pom-pom maker in so doing. Actually, let me just get rid of some of this. I've got too much on it. How Not to Make a Pom-Pom by Gillian. How to Break the Pom-Pom Maker by Gillian. What?
Oh,
what?
well, you're, yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
All right,
I knew you could do it.
Now, really what you need is a tiny little pair of scissors.
And to get it in the camera shot.
To snip, all right? Now...
Mind your fingers.
I'm actually going to transfer over. Actually, no, do you know what? I'm going to use these. These are good. Let's go with these. They're slightly curved, which is sort of annoying, but they're super sharp. Okay. Am I in the right spot? Yes. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut it open. And this is where you're going to reveal your flower and your leaves. Ping, ping, ping. There we go. So make sure that's cut all the way around. You can see there's the area that I put the yellow. We've got the pink going around there, then we've got the leaves, then we've got the outside. So now what I'm going to do is just going to take some of this yarn, okay, probably about I don't know, 10 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches.
What's that in new money?
Actually, I don't know, 20 centimetres? 20 centimetres. Now, this is important. I'm going to put it round like that, and then I'm going to go round again. But what you want to end up here is putting these ties at the back of the pom-pom, all right? Because, move that one out of the way, because when we attach it, we want the ties to go around the back, all right? So you want the pom-pom to be tied at the back. All right, so let's tie that nice and tightly. The tighter, the better. And this is quite strong yarn, so it should allow you to do that nice and tightly. So once that's tied, we know it's not going to go anywhere. It's looking very ovoid, isn't it? Let's just cut those bits off either side to start with. This is where I'm going to get a lovely pile of gorgeous bits of fluff all over the table. Right, release the pom-pom maker, both sides. Okay, so there it is, released. Okay, and there is my somewhat hairy looking pom. So obviously, as we all know, this is now the best bits where we can start to really trim the pom-pom. Now, I do, as I've said before, recommend, let's just fluff it up a little bit. I recommend having extremely sharp scissors to do this. You might want to go to a slightly wider shot actually, Christopher, so I can just move a bit more. That's better. The sharper the scissors, the better. There's no two ways about it. Please don't ever try and trim a pom-pom with blunt scissors. I mean, goodness me. That's probably one of the most annoying things I could ever think of, to be honest. Don't you agree?
More annoying than me?
Do you know what? Yeah.
Oh. Must try harder.
I would say, well, I mean, can anyone think of anything more annoying? I can't.
What, than me?
No!
Oh.
Them trying to trim a pom-pom with blunt scissors. Actually, do you know what? Sometimes when you watch other people's YouTube videos and they're trying to do something or other and you can see their scissors aren't sharp enough, and it puts my teeth on edge actually. Watching people trying to cut things with scissors that are blunt. Pet hate. Okay. All right. So it's still a little bit clumpy from where I've wrapped the things around. So that's easily sorted out just by giving it a little bit of a tickle. But the other thing I wanted to show you here, which is quite interesting, is how you can shape it. So if it's not a perfect shape, you can get your little scissors or whatever you want to use, part the fibres, okay, and bring the other fibres into place, okay. So if it's not perfect to start with, don't panic. Just going to cut a little bit. And also you can be a little bit creative with your trimming here as well. Like if you've got some bits, like say for example you had too much yellow, if we just parted the C here, parted the fibres, you could actually cut a bit of it out if you want to. Get rid of it, okay? As long as your pom-pom's nice and full, that won't matter. So say for example, my leaf here is, what's that doing? It's a bit of a random bit there. Say my leaf isn't quite pointy enough, or there's a random bit just there, can you see? Let's try and get rid of that. So I'm just going to part the fibres, just use some little pointy scissors or something similar, and just get rid of the bit you don't want. Just cut it out, or cut the top of it out. And then let's make that a little bit more leaf shaped, just by getting it into shape, okay? And you can see this does require a fair amount of trimming. It's extremely satisfying though, and you need to get it nice and smooth. I mean, that one's still really quite messy compared to the one that I ended up using here, which has got like a sort of velvet sort of feel to it. It's quite velvety. Once it's trimmed smoothly all the way around, it should feel quite and look quite velvety. And then you might find, if you're like me, that you can just perpetually see another little bit that's just sticking out that you've missed, and you just carry on trimming it forevermore until it's fairly non-existent because it's so small. Anyway, so that is how you do that. So it's a little bit fiddly using the tiny pom-pom maker. So you might want to experiment with this using a slightly larger one if you just want them for another reason. But I just think that on the wreath, if you can go to the wider shot, please, darling. On the wreath, really, you want them nice and small because the big ones just look a bit silly. Unless you could put a big one at the bottom, maybe. All right, so that's how to do those. Then what I've done is I've just tied them round with the tie at the back, but I have also glued them with the glue gun as well, okay? Just to make everything, oh, it's me. Just to make everything look like, you know, make sure nothing moves, because you don't want the pom-poms to swivel around and go out of place. You want them to stay put, stay where they should be. Okay, so obviously, you would then glue your little plaque at the bottom simply by cutting out, well, first of all, decide what rude word or phrase you're going to use, not rude, not the phrase on my pencil, I hope. So say you were going to do hello, get your beads out, see how wide it is, because they're quite big beads actually, and I've given you in the kit 2 very sweet little heart-shaped cube beads as well in gold to put either side of your word or phrase. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you can see them on the long shot, but there's one either side of love there. So figure out how long you need it first. Add a little bit more because we're going to cut these V's into the end of it. Nothing complicated here. We're just cutting a V into either end to make it look a little bit like a sort of felt plaque. Quite like that. Then you're literally just going to glue your beads on your little message, and then that then gets stuck to the bottom here. However, I would just do your tassel first before you stick your plaque on at the end. So let's do the tassel now. So what we're going to do with the tassel, unlike when I've shown you how to make tassels before around something, when you're using lots and lots of yarn, and it could all just sort of get very out of hand if you didn't have it going round a piece of card or something like that. With this, I am literally going to just lay it out onto the table. So if we can go to the wide shot again, please, Christophe. So long lengths. All right, so let's just get some bits together. So this can be as much or as little as you like. You can sort of test to see how big your pom-pom's going to be. I did include another colour actually for the tassel. You've got the jade colour in there as well. We could put a little bit of the olive green because it's nice and springy and gorgeous. Oh, I've pulled off a bit that was a bit too short there. Let's go for a slightly longer bit. There we go, that's better. A long bit there. And then also I've included some of the yarn in this as well. So a few lengths of the yarn. 1, 2, 3. Let's just put 3 in for now. Let's just put another bit of the Ice Queen colour in as well, which is this lovely, lovely pale turquoise colour, which I love. I never cut the ends, always just pull it, because if you pull it, you get a lovely tapered end, and you don't want this, well, you do want to trim it at the end, but I just tend to pull them apart. Okay, so now what I would tend to do now is just double that over and see if that's a big enough tassel. If you feel like it isn't and you want to add more, which I feel like it isn't, so I'm going to add more.
Crazy.
I know, I'm a crazy
Awesome.
fool. All right, so I'm just going to add a bit more pink, and then I'm just going to add another. So all the time I'm pulling off pencil widths here, pencil widths of wool tops. Let's add in another bit of this as well, because it doesn't feature anywhere else. And then I'm just going to keep the rest of my yarn actually for tying it all together with, because you do need to do that as well. All right, so let's go with that. Okay, that's my tassel's worth. So when I fold that over, it feels fairly substantial. I think that's going to be about right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a length of the yarn, and I'm just going to tie it tightly in the middle. Now this is what's going to be your tie to tie this on to the wreath. Okay, so you want to leave those ends.
What sort of
as your
knot
tie.
was that, Gillian?
It was a granny knot.
Excellent. Well done.
I'm not big on knots, Christopher. Were you expecting me to say it was a double reef or something?
You could have told me anything.
I think
I'd
when
have
I was at
believed you.
Brownies or Guides, I didn't pay attention when we did knots. And you know, I'm not a sailor, so I don't know about knots. All right, so then I'm going to bring it round like this. And this is where I'm then going to tie the top of the tassel. So you can see, because we're making this out of wool tops, and in fact, I've got one, let's see if I can just, there we go. This is one I made that's in my book, Easy Stuff to Make with Fluff. So you can really have fun with these, with the wool tops, and it's really simple to make. It's just bits of wool tops, bits of yarn. I've got some curly wool locks that we sell in this one as well. And then I've got a bit of glittery yarn in there. I've got some pink in there. But it's really simple to make. Just tie it once at the top and then tie it round. And you can hang those on all sorts of things, really pretty. So in the same vein, I'm just going to cut another piece of the yarn just to tie around the top and make the top of my tassel. And you can judge where you want to do this. I'm just going to do it about there. And again, just tie that in a double knot, like so. Okay, and then you can just leave those bits hanging and you can kind of fiddle around with it. You can puff those bits out, puff these bits out, make it look a little bit more round, and so on and so forth, till you're happy with that, okay? Then you can, again, you can leave the ends all tapering off, or if you want to, you feel like it balances more to the wreath, just cut them straight across like that, okay? And then you're just going to tie that on. So I've just tied that on. Here, you could add a blob of glue as well if you want to. And then you're going to add your plaque that you've made just simply by gluing that on like that. So you could have mum, you could have love, you could have hello, and then obviously we're just going to stick the little buttons that come on in the kit as well. So you get these 3 of these little spotty buttons. Lost the third one. Oh, there he is. Like that, and stick those on as well. Okay, and then you can see I've just doubled that around and tied that on the top, so that's how you're going to hang it up. Okay, and that, my friends, is pretty much it. Okay, so if you want to get a kit, it comes with everything you need. It comes with the felt, it comes with the wool tops, okay, it comes with the buttons, it comes with the daisy trim. It comes with a whole pack of the beads. So I've got mine in a little plate. It comes with a whole pack of the little beads with the letters. So you can do lots of messages. And it comes with a couple of the little heart beads as well. And it comes obviously with the vine. And then away you go. So the only other things you need, pom-pom maker, glue, scissors, pins if you want to do the daffodils. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me make that. It looks rather splendid on our front door, hanging on our front door of the shop. There's some photographs on Instagram and Facebook, I think, of that if you want to go and have a look. But yeah, it would look nice hanging anywhere, I think. It's very springy. And on that theme, next week, I'm going to get slightly more complicated. I'm going to show you how to make the actual felt daffodil from scratch. None of this ready-made felt malarkey. I'm going to make this from scratch using wool tops. This is a project from my book, Felting Fabulous Flowers. Okay, actually, can you go to the overhead shot for me, Chris? Because I just want to show everybody. Thank you. So there's lots and lots of flowers in this book if you've not seen it before. We're going to be that's the actual daffodil from the shoot. There we go.
Amazing.
I know. It's one of the first
actual
ones actually.
one.
Let me just go to it. Hang on. Here we go. So if you want to know how to make this, whether you've got my book or not, it's handy to have my book, to be honest. And obviously it has got all the other beautiful flowers in there if you would like to have a go. Signed copies are available on the website and we ship worldwide. But anyway, if you'd like to know how to make this, I'm going to be doing this next week because obviously it's daffodil time of year. What you will need if you would like to join us, you will need basic wet felting equipment, i.e. a small mat and a little piece of net. We sell this is $5.95. You will need basic needle felting equipment, a little piece of foam and some felting needles. You don't need the multi-needle tool actually, you need foam and a needle. And then you're going to need some wool, okay? Obviously I've used bright yellow here, but I've also used gold, which is this colour, all right? And then I've used orange to make this bit that sticks up. And then there is a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of lime green in the middle actually as well. So it says 30 grams of bright yellow, 20 grams of bright orange, small amounts of lime green and gold. Now you can make this using ready-made felt, but honestly, it's not the same. And you're going to get more of this kind of look that we've been doing today, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just a different thing. I think what's beautiful about making the felt from scratch from the wool is you're going to get the texture and you're going to get the edges. Now the edges, it's almost like a frilly edge, as you would get on an actual real flower petal. So I just want to show you as well, so I'm going to lean out of shot briefly. A pair of slippers I made eons ago, literally, they are so ancient these, but I did put a couple of real daffodils made from scratch on these as well. Do you want to do the overhead? I'll show everybody, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, so there's some more there. So this one is just a single layer of petals, which is what I'll be doing next week. These were made slightly different actually, slightly differently, I should say, and they've got a double layer. Anyway, so that is what I'll be doing next Sunday at 11, if you would care to join me. Anyone got any questions? We haven't had any questions today. Or banter. What's going on?
Lynn Harvey, I don't know quite what you mean. Sunday morning entertainment tickling a pom-pom. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Carol Ann Proudlock on Facebook asks for the name of the fluffy wool type material you are using.
Okay, sorry. I talk about this so much. I'm so sorry that I kind of glossed over the details because I sometimes feel like I'm repeating myself so much. But if you've not watched before, this is wool tops. So basically this is unspun wool. So it comes off the sheep, it's washed, it's brushed, and then we have it dyed into we have over 70 different colours of this, okay? So this is the stuff we use for felting, okay? We use it for wet felting and for needle felting. It's also used for spinning. So basically this is what you would spin yarn from, okay? And I often show this. I just grab a piece at the end and I just pull and twist and pull and twist. And one of these weeks I will show you how to do drop spindle spinning. I'll get around to that eventually. But you can use a drop spindle or you can use a spinning wheel, obviously. But this is what you spin yarn from. It's like unspun yarn, okay? My speciality is felting, okay? So that's why I use this so much. My most recent book, Easy Stuff to Make with Fluff, is specifically about what to do with wool tops. So you can weave with it. You might have seen lots of people weave with this now and make these very sort of multi-textural wall hangings. And I've got that in the pipeline as well. I'm going to do a weaving tutorial for you again in a few weeks. So there's lots of things you can do with this. You can felt with it. You can just generally craft with it, which is kind of what I've been showing you today. And I invented the wool tops pom-pom a couple of years ago now. And so I just think it's great to make pom-poms with. It's much, much faster than using yarn, as you saw. But especially if you're doing a big pom-pom, you can wind it around much, much faster because it comes in these sort of pieces rather than a thin yarn. And yeah, that's what it is. It's wool tops. It's called wool tops. And in the States, they often call it roving.
Roving?
Yes.
Oh, strange.
Which is weird, isn't it? Yeah, we call it wool tops.
Other things. What else have we got? Yeah, Kerry Curtis wants me to sign hers. What do you want me to sign
what?
Kerry? I'm a bit... maybe she means the book.
Oh, what? Felting Fabulous Flowers?
I'm not signing your pom-pom. That would
anyway,
be weird.
Moving swiftly on.
Nikki on Facebook said, what's the name of the book again, please?
Oh, sorry. Felting Fabulous Flowers.
Say that after a few drinks.
I have 4
It's
books.
forgotten.
Oh, that was my watch saying it's forgotten. How very odd. I've written 4 books, one of which is out of print at the moment, Carnival of Felting, but the other 3 are available. We sell signed copies of them. So there's Complete Felt Making, Felting Fabulous Flowers, and then the other one that I just referred to, my most recent book, is Easy Stuff to Make with Fluff. Okay, and they're all on our website. I think if you go to Felting and Gillian's books or Felting books.
There is some
Gillian's
love
books.
for your shop, online shop. Somebody's saying
thank
it's
you.
fabulous.
Thank you. Well, there's lots of lovely things on there. And Mother's Day is coming. Just saying. So if your mum likes fluffy stuff or sewing or stitching or weaving or whatever, craftiness, there's definitely something on there. Yeah, and we do sell this in over 70 different colours. We sell all the equipment for felting and so on. And we sell the pom-pom makers, we sell the glue guns, everything I've used today. Generally, most things that I use, everything that I use, we sell. We sell pins, we sell scissors. Yeah, so go and have a look. Great. Any more questions?
Kerry has clarified it was the book she wants signing.
Which book?
I don't know.
What, signed by you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
That's a bit weird, you signing my book, isn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe just for Kerry.
I'll need to learn to write first.
Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go and take the dog for a walk now, Booey. Oh, are you sleeping? Oh, she just looked at me with one eye. Enjoy your sunny day if it's sunny where you are. Oh, did we find out what the weather was like in Minneapolis?
Yes, 2 degrees and snowing.
Yeah, you see? I remember
looked it
that.
up because she didn't
Oh,
answer.
I see, yeah.
She was probably only temporarily coming through the channel.
Oh, maybe. Maybe she was trying to dig her way out of the snow.
Maybe.
Yeah, I remember it being really snowy there, actually, when we flew in, and it was all like sort of a patchwork of snow. But I don't remember what time of year that was. Anyway, I'm starting to wish her on now. I'm going to go, and I shall see you next week for... if I put it somewhere here, for daffodils, for felting fabulous flowers and making real, actual felt 3D proper daffodils. But goodbye for now. If you have another question, message me. Bye.
It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag Fluff-a-torium. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag Fluff-a-torium. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag Fluff-a-torium. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag. It's Gilliangladrag.